TTV underscore thing. We're live almost every single day. Whimpering Waves addressed the problem with Weewa already. Straight up, I'm about to show you a screenshot in a moment. And I said it a couple minutes ago, like in my first video. I think that video was about 2-3 hours ago. I said, listen, as long as they just put out something saying, hey, we're sorry, we're working on it, I'd be okay with it. I'll be fine. So let's look over what they said. So they said here, let me go to the scene. The dev team that received feedback that certain stages in the Whimpering Waste have failed to provide a satisfactory gaming experience in its current version. That is a massive understatement. It feels bad. We can confirm that the current iteration of this gameplay feature does not fully reflect what was originally intended. The devs team is currently working to make appropriate adjustments, which will be available after version 2.2. For information regarding the adjustments, please stay tuned for the version 2.2 update notice. We sincerely apologize for an experience that may have not met your expectations. Now, this is a very, very, very fast turnaround. I know some people are saying that maybe they intentionally made Weewa bad so that way people could watch 2.2 live stream. I don't know if I'm going to go as big brain as that. What I would say is this. As we've said previously in the other video, the game mode is just rough. It's just rough. I feel like there's a lot of things that could be overhauled about this game mode. I did put out a YouTube video a while ago, kind of just breaking down what I would do to actually fix it. By the way, go sub to my More Ethan channel. But yeah, I put out a video when game mode initially came out saying, hey, this is what I would do to change this. Because I think that the game mode can be saved. And I'm hoping in which that the changes that they make now are going to be sufficient. To my understanding, I'm going to pull up a screenshot here. This was the old buff. So this was old, and this was the new for the infinite torrents. So it says damage taken by enemies increased by 50%. All tokens have unlimited uses, obviously. And then the new buff is crit damage taken by the enemies increased by 50%. I think they possibly were trying to go for the version that maybe if they give the infinite torrents the 50% crit damage buff, maybe that would make it better. But it doesn't. It just doesn't. My expectations are honestly for them to revert back to the old tokens. And I think they'll probably leave this buff alone. And I just, you know, the comments on the original video I made was like, well, don't you want the endgame to be hard? That is artificial difficulty. Removing buffs and providing you tokens that are not universal, that don't work with a lot of characters, especially when it's already a niche down game mode. So your pool of characters to work with for the massive AoE damage is already a bit on the smaller side. When you make these other buffs of the tokens not that universal, it's like, listen, what do you expect? I don't know how they expected maybe positive reception from this iteration. They also didn't change anything. Now, I also know the counter argument is, well, Ethan, you want to run maybe 3 DPSs as opposed to Verena / Shorekeeper. I'm fine with that. I actually think that's a very smart thing, and I think that's a strategy that is underutilized substantially. But with that being said, you are still losing a massive nuclear amount of damage because of these changes that they made to the game mode. So, of course, I am very happy, Genji can never, Hoyo can never, that they literally addressed this. It's been live on NA servers for about 5 hours. It's 9:20 right now, right? It's been live very, very short time. And kudos to them for being able to monitor the game and the reception that quickly. So the glazing comes in when it's like, listen, I think that's amazing. I'm not going to overglaze, though. I don't know what updates they could really make in version 2.2. I feel like, again, I think the game mode genuinely needs some core changes. I feel like you could at least change one side, make it more single target, or kind of make it those 3 elites, and it's just consistently the 3 elites, right? Instead of it being bosses, if you want to put a boss in there, which I get, but like they're constantly jumbled together. Stop making the AI crazy and they're running away every 5 seconds, right? Again, some sort of AoE tokens. It just, again, it has potential. It has potential, but I don't know if they're gonna do the right thing or at least fix it in the way that I think they could fix it. I really don't know. I have hope and I have faith, but I'm kind of losing faith a little bit in this game mode. I'm not going to lie to you. I feel like this is a game mode I probably just will never touch. So I'm excited to see what they say for version 2.2, but I'm very cautiously optimistic. I feel like this is just a massive miss. And to me, it's like, dude, we need to bring back this tower reset, man. Listen, cut the rewards of the tower in half, like do something like this bi-weekly tower reset. I think tower in itself it's just an Abyss clone. It is an Abyss clone, but I'd rather play TOA a million times than this game mode, man. So I don't know. I'm happy that they're trying to address it. I just don't know what they're going to change. I feel like the simplest thing that they're going to do is just revert back to tokens and possibly keep that same buff of the crit damage so you feel even more powerful. But then at that point, the core fundamentals still are like, well, the game mode is still severely lacking, right? And so I just feel like it's a really underbaked content. It feels really underbaked, and I don't know, man. Again, these people, these tryhards saying, well, you're not supposed to feel powerful. It's like, dude, the enemies literally just run away. There's like 2.5 CC characters in this video game, right? Like, they actually have CC where they can bring them together. Like, Camilla's spin doesn't cover the whole map. Like, it's just, I don't know how you can try to counter it, and again, these comments on my videos, I don't know. It's interesting to see. Like, if I show you guys real quick, right? So it was about 2 hours ago. Yeah, it was literally 2 hours ago. Blah 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 blah. So shout out to my man Shine. The main reason everyone's doing 1-2 score, half the score is they changed the stage above from 50, which we went over. Shout out to him. He showed me. Biggest problems, crappy end games. Damn, Kuro keeps messing up. I use Camilla, blah blah blah, and yeah, the AI is still bad, but it's not anything out of the ordinary. You could try with different buffs and test it out. Don't like the mode as well, but it's an end game and it's kind of difficult. I don't know why people are so eager to complain about it 5 hours after the reset without trying and discussing different strategies. I understand this, but the problem is like the strategies are just use the purple tokens, and the purple tokens have always been there. So there's no new strategy. There's no new like innovative thing. It's like, oh well, now I have to go use the purple. Like, people were using purple tokens before with Zhang Liao, with Chang Li, and even with Yinlin. People would do the E, pop the burst, and then do that over and over again, get their forte fast. I don't understand it. It's not. It just doesn't make sense to me. Plunder Captain Seal is the go. That's all I was gonna say. The idea is good, but they ruined it with trash buffs. This is hand down my favorite event ever because of all the crying. It took me an hour to get all the reward. The game basically tells you to spread your damage, so typical team comps rotations using the TOA will do the worst you could do. I mean, like, again, I think people just miss the point. Again, it's not a very accessible game mode for a lot of people. People were building for TOA. The current banner characters are really not that great on here, unless they're running Camilla next. I just don't get it. Right? Like, none of these characters are really in the air like that. So unless Camilla's coming out, even with Camilla, still pretty shitty. But regardless, I am happy they're going to make this change. Let's see what happens. That being said, I love you. I'll see you in the next one.